So you're giving up on the podcast entirely. That's what you're saying.
You know, I had a dream 2 days ago that we had this very conversation of just closing up shop. And
so we're done, right?
Yeah. Rhyme or free, it doesn't matter to me. It's my bad poetry. Good day and welcome to My Bad Poetry, a podcast where we take a deep dive into our poems from youth, yesteryear, or even yesterday, always asking the question, why in the world did I write this? I'm Aaron.
And I'm Dave.
And this week, we have to look at another one of my old poems.
Fart noise.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our scheduled guest has lost her voice, and so you're stuck with us. This is a reminder. If you want to hear less of us, we want to hear more of you. So.
This is also a reminder, if you want to hear less of us, there's this thing called a mute button. Or downloading our podcast multiple times and deleting it.
That's true. That still counts as a listen for us, and you don't have to go through the torture.
Yeah. Help us make 12 cents per episode, please.
No, we don't even have ads on this.
No, I know.
Spotify gave up on us years ago. But, you know, I mean, if we are doing self-soliciting right now, you could drop us a review. I know we haven't mentioned that in like ever, but I think it truly does help. I'm not sure.
No, it does. Like, it pushes us up in the algorithm.
Yeah, we're more likely to show up on other folks' pages. So if you like our stuff, let us know. We'd love.
And right now, we only have 2 reviews, and one of which is from me, and it is a 0-star review. I had to work really hard to figure out how to give 0 stars, because normally the lowest they let you go is 1. But I figured it out.
So, Dave, we have 2 remaining poems from the Loose Leaf collection.
Okay.
Covered the quartet, and we've covered Silence and Pain from the Steal a Line poems.
Yep.
What we have remaining is a choice writing assignment where I got a star and a wow.
Oh.
And that's titled The Plague. Or this writing that has perhaps the only proof ever of me actually editing and rewriting the same poem. So, do you want to look at untitled edited work or The Plague? What's your fancy?
I mean, we're going to have to deal with both of them.
Eventually, yes. So,
and I would say maybe next week's episode should be the editing one, because holy crap, you edited something?
Well, I mean, don't get too excited there. But
no, Aaron, I'm going from a 0 to like 0.5.
Yeah, okay, that's probably the right amount of excitement.
It feels infinitely more, because technically it is infinitely more, but it's just because of how low my expectations are for both you and for myself.
Yeah. Well, maybe it will raise your star review of this show.
Okay.
To a 0.5. So
0.25.
Okay, well, we'll do The Plague today.
Okay.
And let's get into the realm of bad poetry with whatever you have hastily written for us today.
Okay. I have a poem called...
What?
You're a jerk. I have a poem called You're a Jerk. I have a poem called The Cycle. The vessel sits at the end, waiting for the attention it deserves. It will take more than annoyance to push me into action. I am running low on so much. So I will put away these clean clothes so that I can use the laundry basket again. Yeah.
Dave, that is so deep.
I know, right?
Because, yeah, the titling it The Cycle... There's just layers upon layers there,
right? Because it's like the cycle of a laundry machine. There's like a dry cycle, whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. You got your
the
spin cycle
of me being bad at life.
Well, I mean, procrastination / just being human. Yep. When it comes to laundry, we currently have a basket full of laundry in our bedroom from Monday. So yeah, it's reality. And I appreciate you bringing this to our listeners that they may sympathize and you know.
It speaks to the soul.
Yeah.
It speaks to humanity's inhumanity towards humanity.
You've
TM, CR. Yeah?
I think you've said it enough times. You just kind of own it now, and I'm sorry for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels like I've won it. In the same way that you can win
Like squatters' rights?
I was trying to come up with something, but I feel like squatters' rights is probably the best analogy here.
Yeah. Well,
Although, in a lot of those cases, some people would like that space back.
that's
no
true.
one wants this.
No one wants that quote. So it's public domain. You've capitalized on public domain. It's gone into the usage, and
I'm the new Disney. You're welcome.
Okay, Dave. Well,
I feel judged.
rightly so.
Yeah.
We're gonna hear the plague.
Ugh. A pox on your house, Aaron.
A pox indeed. I wonder if I use that word. Here we go. The plague. Darkness has fallen. The children do not play. They stay inside or have gone away. The rats play tonight and give everyone a fright because they carry the deadly disease and give it to anyone they please. Doctors run through the town with protection from head down. No one stirs, the town is silent, except for the rats that speak and are violent. Gosh, sorry.
I can't be making this easier for you. I am just crinkling my forehead in fear and pain.
I still have 3 more stanzas. Okay. 3 more couplets. We could do this.
Okay.
Ring around the rosy is about this disease. This day, it's a song that kids sing when as they please. People filled their pockets with posy to keep the disease away, but they would fall down and die anyway. Watch out. The plague has come. You better hide. You better run.
Okay. First of all, notes on style. The reading was good.
Thank you.
And very impressive considering the fact that I was bright red for the first few couplets because I couldn't stop giggling at the fact that you were leaning into the microphone with the voice.
Oh, I feel like I should type this one up for you.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to do the next best thing.
Yeah, take a picture.
I'm going to take a picture. And I have,
do you have my number?
I think I do.
I know we don't like talk or.
I also have this convert to text feature. Oh, but that assumes it can read my handwriting. Never mind.
I was going to say.
I'm not going to do that. Okay, Dave, it's going to come your way here. Send. Okay, so a masterpiece, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I think 10 out of 10. Star wow.
Star wow.
Okay, some context here. I believe this would have been probably between the grades of 3rd to 5th grade. Now, there was a book that came out around that time, or at least I encountered it around that time. It was the sequel to Castle in the Attic. Do you remember that book?
Is it like Indian in the Cupboard?
No, it's similar kind of genre of kid getting taken into a world of magic and wonder from a normal item found. Okay. So Castle in the Attic, a great book. He could shrink down. He was in the castle. He interacted with this living knight. Then there was a sequel to it called Battle for the Castle, in which an army of rats come upon the castle and like devour people. It's like I remember it as being very dark. And there is a poem that was warning the people of the castle about the rats coming. It was kind of one of those like riddle poems where like you could see the imagery was referring to this sea of rats.
Sure.
I was obsessed with this book and this poem for probably far too long, considering the context.
Yep.
But that also led me down the rabbit hole of rats, Middle Ages, plague.
The rat hole.
Yes, the rat hole.
Yeah.
So, hence my obsession with the plague.
You know that Ring Around the Rosie actually predates the bubonic plague by over 180 years?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And that makes me incredibly sad and humbled because since the writing of this poem,
Yep.
I have bragged about knowing the origins of the song Ring Around the Rosie. Okay, correct me, Dave.
So I think this is one of those interesting ones where this, I believe, came about early internet. Like, this was a fact that came up on the early internet, that Ring Around the Rosie was about the bubonic plague. Mm-hmm. Even though it has no historical fact in that. It's literally just, like, people used posies for perfume, and then it's a children's song. It has nothing to do with the plague. Nothing at all.
Wow. And so the whole internet deep dive of like this line means this and this line represents this.
But
well, how has the
internet
betrayed me so, Dave?
Because it's the internet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's
that tracks.
People who want to be smarter than other people. So what I do want to tell you, Aaron, is actually you're factually inaccurate, and this poem has nothing to do with the plague. Or the Black Death.
Okay. So from the how many the last three couplets. Mm-hmm. Just the last the middle the penultimate and the one before that. Whatever that one's called.
the ultimate, the penultimate, and the penultimate?
Something like that. The Ring Around the Rosie and the people filled their pockets with posy. We could cut those. Then we have a 10 out of 10 star wow masterpiece.
Also, you know that it wasn't rats that carried the plague, right?
Okay. It was the fleas on the rats.
It was the fleas on the rats. And the disease didn't come from the rats. The disease came from marmots in, I believe, Southwest Asia.
Well, la-di-da, mister.
So take out the reference from rats. Also, then, the doctors protected from head down, technically they were only protected around the face. The robes that they wore were made out of dog hair. Which is perfect, because what do fleas like?
Okay.
Dog hair.
How do you know this?
Also, technically, the masks that they were wearing were to protect them from miasmas.
The bad smells, I know.
The bad smells. Even though they didn't do any purification in any way, shape, or form. So, other than the factual inaccuracies, this poem still sucks.
You took this whole thing to pieces. Every fun fact that my third grade self decided to basically humble brag about when putting it in rhyme here is wrong.
See, but here is the thing to take away from it, Aaron. You got past this in elementary school, middle school.
Did I?
I am still a pretentious jerk when it comes to correcting people.
I think you think that I got past this. The poem itself, factually inaccurate. From a pretentious elementary school child. Or maybe fifth grade. Again, I think fifth grade might be the latest I could push when this was written.
And I will say, I don't fault you for that, because I know that this was published in books too. I had books growing up talking about all of these things that you cite
Rats
in this.
And posy and doctor masks. And,
So, like, it's a lie that somebody taught you, because you were a nerd who was interested in learning. And you, for some reason, in the 3rd to 5th grade, weren't working with original sources. How dare you, Aaron? Was your Middle English that bad?
No. I was probably reading the Eyewitnesses
Exactly.
series. Those series were awesome.
They were the best.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty here.
Yeah.
I noticed as I was reading that there's a phrase here that I repeated twice.
Okay.
And it's a rhyme scheme that I repeated twice. We have in the third couplet, because they carry the deadly disease and give it away, give it to anyone they please.
Yep.
There's disease and please. And then down in the far more factually inaccurate, Ring Around the Rosie is about this disease. This day, it's a song that kids sing as they please.
Yeah.
So we have anyone they please, as they please, disease and please in the same poem.
Yeah. I would have appreciated it if you could have flipped it in the second time.
Ooh.
Because, like, so you have 2 stanzas before the first iteration of that, and you have 2 stanzas after the second iteration of it. So if you had it flipped, then it could be like a...
It could be chiastic. That would have been fun. Yeah. But no, alas.
No. Also, I was going to say 2 couplets, although the first stanza is not a couplet.
No, it's 3 lines.
There are 3 lines. Why?
and the first line stands alone.
Yeah.
Much like the cheese in children's rhymes. Darkness has fallen has no rhyme to it. It's
correct.
It's just tacked on to the beginning. Again, because I think I wanted to set the mood, and then we get into the couplets. So, but yeah, it's just tacked on to that first couplet, and it shouldn't be there.
Right. Again, if you had a finishing line of like a darkness is completed or
let the sun rise. Something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But again, 5th grader.
Yes.
Hey, Aaron.
Yeah.
When doctors run through town, was it an intentional use to spell it as in to have been thrown?
So, in the sense that they are themselves thrown into this turbulent time.
They are a holy missile of healing, I understand.
Yes. Or caught within the turbulent like winds, almost the winds of time. No, I just
yeah, I figured you had no idea how to spell it. That's totally cool.
yeah. No, I'm actually surprised there's not more. How do you spell posy?
Yes,
is that Possy? It looks.
I thought it was IE.
Isn't that posse? Like a group of people, like your posse?
Possie is posse. Posie is posy? I don't
know.
Dear listeners, Aaron and I host a podcast about poetry, and we don't know how to spell posy.
Posse is a variant of posse. Okay, I'm gonna look up Ring Around the Rosie and see how it's spelled, because I don't even know if I'm reading posy or posse on the screen.
How do you spell it correctly? You don't know how to spell it correctly.
Pocket Full of Posies is Posies. No, a single S. Okay. That is the issue. So I spelled it a pocket full of posses. You just have your friends close.
Yeah. There are so many things I want to say, none of them broadcastable.
Please don't. Okay. We've talked about how in the past, in the Wolf Journal, I had no clue how to use punctuation within poetry. You'll see that is far more the case, even younger, because every single line break is marked with a comma. There is nothing else except commas the whole way down until the last line.
Mm-hmm.
So in case you didn't know there was a break within the flow or the thought, there's a comma there smacking you over the head. Even at the end of the couplets.
Right.
No periods, no question marks, nothing. It's just comma.
I think that is an interesting thing to consider, because in like 3rd to 5th grade, you're trying to figure out what the heck this punctuation stuff is. And in poetry, there's a lot less rules about how you use it, and there's a lot more intention about like understanding the purpose behind using the punctuation. So yeah, you don't do it well.
But I'm consistent.
You're consistent, which is something.
I'm not breaking away from a pattern here mid.
No, you're using a comma to denote this is the end of the line. This is where you would take a breath, maybe.
Yeah.
Especially with such forced rhymes.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of forced rhymes, this last line. Watch out, the plague has come. You better hide. You better run. I mean, you can't beat that. That's a mic drop there, Dave.
Yeah. As in, you're dropping the mic so you can run away?
Yeah, from the plague.
Oh.
What other forced rhymes are you talking about?
Well, I mean, come and run.
Sounds exactly the same to me.
So M and N are different letters that make different sounds. You know?
But you know, the and the it's basically the same.
Oh yeah.
I have away and anyway.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Does that even count? They're both way. I mean,
I think it's fine.
Okay.
Disease please, and then disease please.
Twice,
and then disease please again.
What?
I'm
I
kidding.
did that? No. Okay.
No, I'm kidding. I wanted to see the look on your face. Dear listeners, he looked like a deer caught in the headlights. Silent and violent.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's pretty good. I
Right?
think. Yeah. I don't know anything else on this lovely work about the plague that isn't actually about the plague.
I mean, I would have liked to see more about the buboes that formed.
Well, you see, I thought Ring Around the Rosie was about the buboes that formed. I would have also liked the strapping a live chicken as a potential home remedy.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to keep people away from me.
No, for the plague, Dave.
No, I know. But, like, the plague also spread between people, so I'd like to strap a live chicken to my head, and then people will be like, oh, we should go to the other side of the street, because he's got a chicken on his head. He thinks he's an egg that's going to be hatched.
Dave, how do you think this poem speaks to our time and in our place when we've gone through our own pandemic,
Right.
plague of sorts?
I mean, all I can say is star. Wow.
Yeah, I think prophetic. Yeah. Yeah, star wow, prophetic. Like
Pathetic. I mean, switch a couple letters around, pathetic. It means the same thing, right? That's how words work?
Yep. Just like through and through. I mean, if you write a homophone, it means the same thing. You just
Correct.
You know the context. Spelling not required.
Correct.
So, Dave, good or garbage?
You know what? It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's childish, but it was written by a child, and it's got some fun lines in it. I like it.
You know, I kind of like it too.
Yeah.
We're gonna end this week with the words of a true poet.
Great idea.
Yeah, I just thought of that.
Oh, I like it.
We should go back and redub that into every single episode.
Ooh, I mean, that's going to take a lot of work, but I feel like it's worth it to get in touch with our guests too and make sure
Yeah.
that happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We'll
Cool.
do that. So,
Okay.
this week, coming to us from Elisabeth Frost. This is a 2024 poem, originally published as a poem of the day, October 28th. That's
Of 2024?
yes.
She wrote it in the future?
This is coming to us from the future.
And it's about the apocalypse?
Uh-oh.
This is not great.
I don't know how to read that, but honestly, this says originally published poem of the day on October 28th, 2024 by the Academy of American Poets. So maybe this will be the poem of the day on the 28th.
Okay.
Go back and
Okay.
check, dear listeners. I don't know if I should read the whole thing anymore if it's that copyrighted. But this is called From the Uncured World, again, by Elisabeth Frost. I decided to name my body Jane, Jean, Janet. I've never liked names that begin with that uncertain sound, wobbling between consonant options like a bowling pin on the fritz. But I need to embrace a thing that I have never cared for. As a kid, I loved the game of telephone, one mishearing after another, the transformation, the delight at the end when the secret of the final whisperer was unveiled. Incense, insect, instant, drench, trench, wrenched, language, languish, anguish. We played at the margins of the senses, pretended loss where there was none, made the privilege of hearing into a game. One erasure, another erasure. Janet, unfixed, unmoored, unwell. Time to mobilize.
That I am still like I'm still processing the what was it? Making hearing into or making accessibility into a game.
We played at the margins of senses. What was it? Made a privilege of hearing into a game.
Made a privilege of hearing into a game. That is ouch.
This has been My Bad Poetry.
Now go write some of your own bad poetry.
Yeah. From the uncured world. Yeah. Fascinating poem. It came up when I was looking up poem and poetry under the COVID-19 label, because that's the plague that we lived through. But yeah, look for it in the future. It's 'cause that's what it is. Rhyme or free doesn't matter.